This is the one I want to get to, brother. TCU. JoJo Earl, former four-star wide receiver, been at Alabama, transfers TCU. Tommy Brockmeyer, former five-star offensive lineman out of Alabama, transfers to TCU. Two guys that I've seen recently. One of them, hell, he had a graphic built with it with a TCU jersey on, announcing the commitment. Jack Besh out of LSU. Big year in 2021, very promising. I know his high school coach. This kid's a beast. Tight end, wide receiver, kind of hybrid player. Kind of got lost in the mix this year at LSU. He transfers to TCU. And a guy you're familiar with, again, back to College Station, Chris Marshall. Is Chris right? Did I write that in there right? Is it Chris Marshall? I know it's Marshall, the big, tall, 6'4" freshman wide receiver this year that stayed in a little bit of trouble. He is in the transfer portal, and he lists TCU as a front runner. That without Marshall, that's an impressive haul. With him, boy, TCU's looking really, really healthy coming off of whatever happens in the college ball playoffs with those kind of guys bouncing in.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that talent finds winning, and I say that because you got front runners out there, and I'm not saying anything about these guys that are transferring in, not calling them front runners, but you get what I'm trying to say. If you're a winning football team, good things are going to find you. People are going to be attracted to you. People are going to want to jump on that bandwagon because NIL, NFL, all these different things go out the window. All of us that lay our head down at night, we dream about hoisting the trophy and winning. If you're a competitor and you're a good competitor, you are a winner, and you want to go somewhere that's winning football. TCU is interesting to me. Max Duggan declares for the draft. It's the first year of Sonny Dykes. My only concern is, does TCU catch lightning in a bottle this year in 2022? And are we not seeing something of pure sustainability moving on from this year to where guys like JoJo and guys like Tommy and these guys we're mentioning want to go there? Curious your thoughts, Clint, on that. Is TCU a mainstay for good, and that's why these guys are going? Or did they kind of catch lightning in a bottle with Duggan, who's now gone, and first year, and hey, we don't really know what's going on now, let's settle in?
Well, yeah, look, I think two things can be true, Trev. I mean, I think that, look, when a team does something that they've never done before and makes a run to the college football playoffs and they win the regular season Big 12, I think there's obviously some monster momentum there. I think you get a kid to Fort Worth, Texas, the way TCU is set up, I think it's sexy. I think there's more money at TCU than is talked about nationally. So from an NIL situation, they're not a big dog, but they're not gonna lose to your Big 12 schools that are going to be left once OU and Texas leave. They're not going to lose to anybody else in that conversation. That's for damn sure. And then you talk about that. I mean, look, if I'm Sonny Dykes, I feel really good about the future of the Big 12 and OU and Texas leaving. I know this wasn't a great year for either one of them, but look here, Sonny ain't no fool. He knows that it's just a matter of time before OU's back, and Texas looks like they're coming on. They're on their way, on their come up. This time, a real come up, not a false front. I mean, I think TCU is I think it's sustainable, man. I really do. I think they're going to be one of the more talented teams in the Big 12, if not the most talented team in the Big 12 year in, year out. And I think with the transition of OU and Texas leaving allows that to be true, man. I think they can capture lightning in a bottle, no question they did. But can they capitalize on it enough, Trev, to where they become the front runner in the Big 12, to where they can sustain what the hell they're doing? And I think the answer is yes.
Let me ask you this real quick, and I know we just got a few minutes. Quarterback position at TCU, that's a sought-after spot now. Is that Chandler Morris, who started the year out? Is that his job? Or is that a potential landing spot for a Spencer Sanders or somebody of that nature?
Well, look, I know they're high on him, and I know he is a talented dude. I know he's got some real swag now. He's got some real like leadership qualities. I didn't get to know him, but I got to know a lot more about him when his dad was at Arkansas. So I Chad Moore. So I crossed paths with him quite a bit. He's legit now. Now, is he legit enough to capitalize on this lightning they got captured in this bottle and sustain what they've done? I don't know about that. I'm not going to disrespect what Max Duggan has done and say that all of a sudden this kid can do it because he's talented. But I think they've got an answer there if that's who they choose to go with. I'm not real familiar with the other quarterbacks. I'm not real familiar with who all they're recruiting. But when it's all said and done, I think both things can be true, Trev, to your question of can they sustain what they're doing? If they were in the SEC, I'd say no, they're not going to sustain that. But in that Big 12, yeah, man, I think they can sustain that.